Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the Boss Rush Network. I am your host, LeRon Dawkins, and back with me is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimoff. What's up, though?
Good evening, friends.
And you know him, the one and only Boss Rush boss man of the network, Corey Derrick. What's up, dude?
Hello. I am ready to talk about things that are inappropriate.
Like Wiglet, for example.
Wiglet.
What
Let's
a
see that
floppy,
Wiglet.
flaccid penis that is. It's gross. Or it looks like a full condom. Also,
Nintendo knows what they're doing.
It looks like somebody's holding the bottom of a condom and it's just full and they're just flopping around like this.
Oh.
Maybe there's a little bit on the outside that you just, when you're taking it. Just got everywhere.
We're already starting off in rare form tonight.
Yeah, we are.
How's it going, guys?
It's better than last week when all we did was talk about holes for 25 minutes.
Oh, come on.
That episode, I literally just titled it Holes, by the way. So.
Nice. Could be better for me. Work's been awful. Like, I've been dealing with, oh my gosh, I can't even. I've been getting incorrect information from other departments that I relay to my client. And then when I find out it's not correct, I have to let the client know that I gave them incorrect information. And now it's happening like multiple times. And it makes me look and appear like an unreliable source.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if I fucked up, right? Like if I read and misinterpreted something, I made the mistake, fine, I would own up to it. But in this case, I was legit told something. I even double checked, are you sure? Just to confirm it is X. Like, yes, I go tell them. And then they're like, oh, well, no. Or I don't know. It's just that's a high level summary of it. So that's why this week has been royally pissing me off because that's all I've been dealing with. And it's sink or swim. I'm like the only one dealing with this shit.
How many times has this happened to you so far?
3 after today. Oh, Paxil, you're drooling on me. 3 in a week. Like
it's only Wednesday.
Well, 7 days within 7 days.
Oof, boy.
For example, there are drugs that are called specialty drugs. They're highly complex, could be expensive. And there's going to be some drugs that they are going to move from specialty to non-specialty. So my client asked, can our patients still fill at the same pharmacy once this is reclassified? I asked twice, and the answer I was given was, yes, patients can continue to fill at the same pharmacy, no disruption. When I started asking other questions not directly related to that, I was told, no, members will be forced to change pharmacies. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And that's a big deal. Like forcing members to surprise, you can't shop here anymore. So I just felt like an absolute dingus being like, so remember when I told you it wasn't going to be a problem? Well, I gave you wrong information.
You said dingus.
So sorry. Dingus. I love that word, dingus. Sorry. I didn't mean to get into that rant about work, but it really has been stressful. In the health insurance industry, 1/1 is a big date. Like a lot of insurances renew on 1/1. So everything needs to be met on a deadline. And the majority of the deadline is October 1st. Today is September 28th. So I'm in the thick of this shit right now.
Oh, boy. Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's it's not a good place to be.
No. So thanks for letting me rant.
Oh, it's all good.
I'm just glad I'm here. I'm a little stressed about planning my son's birthday party, but at the same time I'm excited because it is video game themed.
Nice. What game? All games? Some games? Zelda games?
Of course, Legend of Zelda.
Actually, no. Zelda's not really a part of it.
Oh, really?
It initially started off with Pokemon. Nikolai wanted a Pokemon theme party, But then he got into Mario Kart. So now it's like Pokemon / Mario / Splatoon. So now I'm just like, it's a video game theme. So there's going to be a Pikachu pinata. There's going to be like cornhole, but Pokemon themed. I'm going to have 2 TVs set up where one TV kids can play Mario Kart and the other screen they're going to play Splatoon 3, which I got my son for his birthday. I'll let him open it up the night before.
Oh, you already let him open up?
No, I'll let him open up the night before the party.
Oh, okay.
So, like, they have some outdoor activities and then indoor to game. And I'm going to make a Pokemon-themed cake. TBD. So I'm excited and stressed.
Oh, I bet.
Super
I don't have anything that crazy going on. Work's been steady. Like I just got through doing some stuff for work, building some more computers and stuff for clients and getting them all tested and everything. Beyond that, like kind of had a case of the blahs, which as you guys know, like a friend of mine, like, you know, wound up in a situation where we thought like he was going to unalive himself. And once we got everything figured out that he was safe and sound, and, you know, like things were starting to things were basically starting to come down, you know, from that I'm gonna say that crescendo of where it was at.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take a mental inventory this past week, and I am legit burnt out. You know, like it was like, you know, like it was just that high stress of like not having answers and stuff like that. So when I finally did get answers and stuff, I've for the last week and a half I've been processing, and it almost feels like I'm on autopilot right now, because like, you know, like I get up, I do my work, but like the work right now is just a vehicle for me. I'm podcasting, you know, and stuff like that. It's just a vehicle. Like I had no real drive to play video games this past week or so, and it's just it. And like I even talked to a friend, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, immediately after learning that, you know, my friend was safe and sound and things are going to be okay and stuff like that, you know, like I've spoken to him twice, you know, but I haven't actually gotten the energy up to physically go visit him, and I'm starting to feel like I may be turning into a bad friend.
I can see why you'd feel that way, but me knowing, just because we've chatted, right? Knowing how involved you were and what you've done for him, it's more of you're now taking that time to kind of repair yourself, and maybe you're just kind of a little gun shy, not feeling ready to see him. And I at least just from an outsider perspective, you know, I definitely don't think it's you being a bad friend. It's just been a lot so far, and going to visit that friend, that's not just some light, easy, fun, hey, what's up, man, visit. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to take anything away that's happening with your friend, right? But like him going through that also put you through a lot mentally, you know, and like just because he's going through something doesn't mean you didn't have to go through something too, you know. It's I think Stephanie's right. Like you don't have to feel like you're a bad friend for not going to see him, because look at all the other things that you did for him. And you know, it's I think there's a point where, you know, everybody has to, like, how do I say this? You still have to, like, even though you're doing all these things for him, you still have to, like, look out for number one life, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, if you don't have time to see him, you don't have time to see him. That's not your fault, you know? I mean, you have to work, you have you have a partner you want to spend time with, you have all these other things that you need to do, right? Like, it's just, it's not your fault if you can't go see him, you know. Look at all the positive things you did for him, you know, while he's going through this.
And think about it this way, if you want to continue to be a good friend, you need to. It's the same saying as you can't love others until you love yourself. You can't take care of others until you take care of yourself first. So just think of it as like right now you just need a recharge. Once you're charged up, go visit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Honestly, recharge is kind of what it feels like. It feels like I've been trying to like do, stuff like that. Because honestly, like after I found out that he was safe and sound and that he was going to be coming home, and stuff like that. Like I was like, okay, before I actually go physically see him, I need to like get myself together because like I don't want to like wind up doing or saying something and starting the whole cycle all over again and stuff like that, because I mean, there's some things I want to say to him that's not anything bad or negative or anything that I think would be. I don't think in my brain would be outright hurtful or stuff like that. But it's more like, hey, I know I've told you this over the years, but you can always come to me for stuff like that. But like I think I need to like just stress the urgency this time. Like, hey, like before you do this, make sure I know this.
Mhm.
And like I've been playing the scenario in my head how I'm going to say it and stuff. And like I don't want to sound preachy, but I also don't want to sound condescending. I don't want to sound like I'm his dad, stuff like that. So it's just, I'm getting myself spun up just thinking about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, you went through something super difficult. I mean, that's hard.
And I've been keeping an eye on him. Like, I mean, like I've reached out to his roommate a few times, just seeing how things are. And his roommate knows, of course, like I can be one of the first people to contact, if something, goes out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So
you did good things, LeRon.
Yeah.
I tried, and I'm just relieved that, like nothing bad, super bad happened.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the number one and most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Sorry if I made that a little heavy.
Nope.
No. I mean, it could transition to a potential topic. It depends if we want to do a heavy topic or a neutral topic. Because just throwing out there here. Oh, we probably want to do Patreon first, but let me just say it before it escapes my mind. I was either going to think of two things. Was if anyone experiences like. When I say seasonal depression, maybe it doesn't need to be a full-blown depression, but does the change of seasons impact your mood? Another one was just the lighter one, talking about birthdays. Do birthdays matter to you? When do they stop mattering? Or stuff like that. So those are just some sample topics we can talk about, but I don't know if we want to shout out patrons first.
Those sound pretty good, actually.
Yeah, let me get the Patreon producers involved here. Remember, if you want to support Boss Rush After Dark, as well as a plethora of other things here on the Boss Rush Network, you can head over to Patreon, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, a monthly subscription service where you can contribute to your favorite creators directly. We offer two tiers, the $1 early access tier, where you get early access to 5 separate shows. But we also offer the $5 tier, which makes you a Patreon producer. What does that mean? It means you get early access plus your name shouted out on this here program. So without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of Boss Rush After Dark are Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, my wife, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Rebecca Jewell, and Prince Unsmooth Toes. Remember, if you want to... LeRon's smirk just made me laugh, really. That Prince Unsmooth Toes, your name gets us every time.
That's a very unique name.
We try to hide it, but I know you have it for a reason, and it's working. So
hey, I guarantee you, it had to be a hard one to steal online.
Remember, all of our content remains free. Patreon just offers some support to the group. Everybody puts a lot of hard work into all these shows, and it helps. So also, you get a few perks if you support us. All of our content is free. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating or review. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to follow Boss Rush After Dark, just follow @Boss Rush Podcast on Twitter. we're going to start soliciting topics from patrons and Twitter followers, so follow us there. I need to do a better job of getting on that. So, anyways, back to you, LeRon, or Stephanie, or someone.
Well, does anyone have a topic other than the one I brought up? And if not, is there a particular one you want to start or lean to?
No,
I have a light, simple, quick topic. Okay. And it's one I've been thinking about for, I don't know, a few days. And it's not even really a topic. It's just something that kind of broke my brain, and I need your guys' help on this. Not even really
Here we
help,
go.
just I need your opinion. Okay. So my wife and I, okay, we are avid consumers of Dancing with the Stars. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of beautiful people on that show. Okay. Male and female. Okay. We're watching, and this one couple comes out. Okay. I wasn't really paying attention to the package that they show before the dance, right? And like, whatever, they always go through, you know, the packages and whatever. And so I'm watching, I'm like, man, these are two really super beautiful people. And I had never seen the female dancer before. I'm like, I wonder who this is. And so like at the end, whatever. So this is the first time. So let me rephrase this. I went back and like watched the package. The female dancer is actually a drag contestant on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, really?
And I had no idea. And it broke my brain because this person does not look like obviously if like with the costumes and the makeup and the hair and whatever, like
doesn't look like a masculine person.
No,
being a woman.
Zero, none. If you wouldn't have told me, I would have had no idea. And like, it broke my brain. And I don't know what happened. What happened to my brain? I don't know. I just thought this was like an attractive woman dancing, and it's just,
hey, it can be, yeah, things are more than just what we see or a stereotype where if a man wants to dress and drag as a female where there's definitely an Adam's apple or masculine features or big hands. I mean, some are just so convincing. I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah.
Not to be crude about it, but my ex used to like send me like just silly videos, memes. A lot of it's inappropriate. And one of them was like an incredibly attractive looking female. Like I was attracted to her and I thought she was and you know, I'm bisexual, so I don't really care if you're male or female, but
yeah,
I was convinced that was a female. And then she stood up and we saw that it was a biological male, which I don't have a problem with, but that I could at least associate, Corey, to what you said about it breaking your brain.
Yeah.
Gender bending throws me off too.
Yeah. And so like
Again, not that I have a problem with it. It's just
I feel like as someone who is straight, you know, and finding this person attractive, not knowing, like it just like, you know, it just, I just didn't know how to feel after I saw it. And it's not like I'm like trying to convince myself of anything. I'm just like, that really just broke my brain, you know? And so I'm sending you a picture in the chat, by the way.
I can understand what.
Oh, wow.
Wait, okay.
Oh, pretty.
See what I mean? Like, it just broke my brain. So I just wanted your guys' opinion since, you know, that's all.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if I have an opinion.
I'm just saying, attractive, right? I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
not making this up.
That's not a debate. Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, I've seen a lot of drag queens that, like at first glance you definitely would think that they are definitely the female gender and stuff like that,
yeah.
Yeah. Like another just like another well, I mean, we're talking about drag, but I know this like trans men and trans women and stuff like that. Like I mean some of them are very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like I've noticed a lot of trans men out there that actually, just so people that are listening know, a trans man is someone who was born, like with female gender that's transitioned to being a male. And vice versa, trans woman is someone that was born a male and transitioned to being a female.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of trans men that basically like make like the men's health cover models look poor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, like,
Yeah.
And vice versa. I've seen some extremely attractive trans women and stuff like that.
Yeah, and maybe I could ask you, like, and I know this can kind of be a bit dicey, like with maybe offending people, but it's like a genuine question in a scenario that could happen. Corey, if you were single and you were at a bar and you saw someone like that visually on the surface appeared female,
Mm-hmm.
and your orientation just happens to be straight, there's no warning like of what hardware the person has. You take the person home, they pull down their pants, and you see that, like, but you thought the person was attractive. Would you be like, could you go through with it? Could you not? And like, would it be fair? And maybe this is something I need to be educated on, even though I'm bi. Like, there's still a lot of things I don't know about the LGBTQ community. Is it? I think the answer is no. Like, to what extent does the party need to let each other know about the hardware that they're using? Like, I don't know about these rules, or if there are any rules.
I mean, this is what's been breaking my brain the last couple of days. Because like I said, I saw this. Clearly, it looks like a female, right? Attractive. Like in this scenario that you're talking about, I don't know. Like I've just never thought about it because I've never A, been in that situation, or B, never really thought about it because I'm attracted to women. But like the definition of woman has, changed in the last, I mean, I'm not,
I'm laughing because like it's a legitimate statement that you just said. It is.
It's just, I'm trying not to offend anybody by saying this, right? But like the definition of woman has changed in the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah.
And so do you have to like specify what type of woman you're into now? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just, and I don't want to categorize people either, because I know the trans community doesn't really want to be categorized in that sense, right? So, I mean, I think it's just to the point where if they are a trans woman and you're in that situation, maybe they would have to be upfront about some things, I think we're just going to have to start getting to the point where we are all upfront about things.
Yeah. Well, I feel like from a matter of safety, because growing up, and wrestling with my sexuality and stuff like that, like I definitely had to like guard like information about myself, out of respect for personal safety and stuff like that. But I feel like trans people have it like so many times over, to the point where it's like, even though, like I swear, like the more and more I think about my sexuality, I'm borderline pansexual, because like I could definitely find myself being attracted to like trans individuals and stuff like that. It just all depends on where my headspace and how horny I am at the time, I guess. But I will say that because we know the world is like a cruel place right now. Well, all we have to do is turn on the news every day, and like there's always some bullshit going on behind like how like trans people are being like mistreated or oppressed or whatnot, or definitely being killed in the street, for like really by like Neanderthals and stuff like that and stuff like that. So like I my advice would be, and I can't tell people how to live their life, but my advice would be like like if you're a trans person or even if you're just a queer person, like once you know your level of comfort, like then you can assess how you're going to like tell people about it, so stuff like that, because if you're not in if you're not in a safe place for queer people, and like a man or a woman approaches you and says, "Hey, I'm interested in stuff like that," like it's one of those do or die situations. Like, do I tell them or what? Stuff like that, because like the average person, like if they're not in it, the average straight person, if they're not in a space that's known to be queer and stuff like that, they just automatically assume everybody's straight, stuff like that. Whereas the funny thing is, but also queer people also, like, even when we're in our own safe spaces, we sometimes assume that people are also straight, because like it's one of those things where like it all mingles. And sometimes it's not even intentional. Like sometimes it's accidental. Like, you're straight. Oh, well, I'm surprised you're here in this gay bar.
Yeah. And the thing
like that. So,
and the thing is like, the reason why I brought this up is because I feel like it's probably a lot harder for straight people to have this conversation.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think this is a really difficult conversation for most straight men in particular to have. And bringing up your situation or your question, Stephanie, about this situation, like if I was single and this person walked up to me in a bar and looked like this, I mean, maybe, like, I mean, I think it's just something that it's I don't want to say it's hard to answer, but like, I don't know if I would have questioned anything,
Mm-hmm.
But LeRon, you brought up a really important point about safety, because I know we are not violent people, but I can easily see a scenario. I know it's happened, that imagine a not so kind straight person takes home someone that's trans and did not know about it, and they see it, then they might go into a rage and might just beat the shit out of them, and that's
right. Yeah.
horrible. And I wish. Well, okay, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but it's just very disturbing to me.
Yeah. And that's something I didn't even really think about either, I guess, was like the safety portion of it. I was just,
I always, it's sad because like the way I say it, it almost seems like we're like, like we're putting it, we're almost, I'm almost victim blaming, stuff like that. But like, I know me personally, because like, like I've had people have like very like negative reactions, finding out that, like I'm not exactly straight and stuff like that. And I just kind of don't want to wish it on anybody else, I'd rather, like put all the cards out on the fucking table and stuff like that. And also like it's 2022. Like I feel like more and more people are more gender or sexually fluid than like we would think, like 10, 15 years ago and stuff like that, like shoot.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think even people who would call themselves straight are even more, probably fluid than you would think too.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Because
but
I don't know. I think definitely the way I've thought about, that this community has changed over the last 20 years, 15 years, and it's because, you not blaming this on anything really, but I am, like, when you grow up in a community that, is Mennonite and they hate everything that's not Mennonite or Christian or, straight white people, we'll say, you kind of live that way until you branch out and learn things, and it's up to you to accept what, is this okay or not, and then
that's got to be hard in and of itself too, like having to like restructure and relearn like the way the world is and stuff like that.
Oh my god, dude, when I moved to Columbus, and I like we were, like, I think I've told this story on the show before, but like, we were kind of taught to be afraid of black people. And then when I moved to Columbus and I went down there to play football and stuff, and like, I had a black neighbor in my dorm room, and like, I had to like readjust the way I think, you know? And I know that's wrong, but that's, and man, it's, I mean, it's not a story I'm particularly proud of in one way, but it's something that I had to go through as a person who grew up in a community that was predominantly, and we'll say they probably didn't vote for Biden this past election.
Well, I'll say this, like anyone who would criticize or look down on you are just idiots, because it's all about growth. All right. So the fact that you were able to be open-minded and grow, that's the kind of change we wish people could have. And just because I might have some quote unquote minority aspects about me, there's still a lot of growth aspects. I will not name specifically, family that seem to have very close-minded, possibly racist ideals that they would say out loud and kind of try to train me on. And it didn't sell with me, because I just so happened to be kind of like an outcast at my school, where it was mostly white females, whatever. And guess what? All the kids at my lunch table were all of mixed race, and I just fit in because I was an outcast. Unfortunately, they were an outcast too. So, and getting to know them, I'm like, this is nothing like the way my parents are describing people of that race. So it's all about like, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but growth.
Well, it's fun. It's funny because like sometimes our parents wind up accidentally putting their prejudices onto us and stuff like that, and it's another thing they don't realize, and then like they don't, and like it's like when we have to tell them that we had to like either like unlearn something, or even worse, like because of something that they instilled in us, like we got accosted or assaulted by somebody else because we ignorantly didn't understand why we were reacting the way we did and stuff like that. Like it's
yeah,
there's so much that goes on and stuff like that, and I kind of wish I think looking at our society right now, like the people who are becoming parents and like raising kids and stuff, definitely have a better sense of the world as far as like how their kids go through it than opposed to our parents. Because I mean, like for example, my parents, like there are some things that my parents told me that like I didn't 100% understand, or I automatically thought was like common sense. Like I know I've said it on the show before that like I remember being a kid, and my parents told me, hey, if you ever get stopped by the police, just cooperate. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. That'll upset them and stuff like that. And I was like, that's common sense. Like, they're police. You're supposed to respect them. Little did I know, that there's a whole different world out there. And I didn't realize that till I was like into adulthood, and stuff like that. But like it's one of those things that like my parents like went through, and they were trying to make sure I didn't go through it. And like now as parents, we're also doing the same thing, for our kids and stuff like that. But we're also but I look at these the current generation of adults that are having kids now, and the way they're teaching their children, and they're making sure their children have a more worldly view of stuff, and I like it.
Yeah. And I mean, I know the stages in my life where like I started like accepting different things, like when I moved to Columbus, I just accepted that, oh, well, black people and Hispanic people are just people, and all these other races are just people trying to live like I am, or then I remember when I moved home from Columbus, like, and I went back to the restaurant, my first gay friend, and we became pretty good friends, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I should start calling things I don't like. Maybe I should stop saying this is gay for things that I don't like, and my friend had a brother, like at that point too, my one friend from high school had a brother who has Down syndrome. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should stop using the term retarded for things that are stupid, and like, there's all these different things that in my life.
I get into so much trouble now because that word is a part of my vocabulary.
I know, and
it's a part of my vocabulary. It's not even a part of my vocabulary in a derogatory or mean way. It's like,
yeah. Well, I mean these words
Same.
are part of my vocabulary too, and I really had to like force myself to work on not saying those things anymore, and even to a point, probably like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, like I didn't understand like why trans people had to be trans people, and I just, I thought about the way like when I remembered like, oh, well, gay people are just people and trans people are just people trying to be themselves, and it doesn't mean I don't have questions or anything, but just to educate myself, but I
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we've had that discussion too on here, like trying to educate ourselves to be better people in terms of supporting other people who are going through things or believe in things or just trying to be themselves and the world not letting them, but I don't know. I didn't mean for this topic to go that way, but that's where it was.
No, it's nice.
Our whole thing here, not to be like marketing 101 here, but I mean, our whole thing was built on the words be better, and that means being better people to everyone, regardless of who you are or what you believe, or whether you're pro this or anti that or whatever, and we just want everybody to respect each other and be better to each other. And I think that in saying that, we have to kind of live that in certain in all situations, and certain situations will be harder than others, but it's just that mindset, I think, and this goes all the way back to LeRon's topic at the beginning of the show, right? Where questioning if you were not a good friend, but look how much good you did, and that's being a better friend than maybe most of the people he would call friends,
I agree. I'm glad you said that, because like there were some people out there, that were just like, they wanted to know information just to be nosy and not really offer any help and stuff like that. And it's like, what, if you're not helping me find out answers, then get the hell out of my face.
Yeah. And like, I mean, and how many of those people, not to assume things, but how many of those people were just like, oh, fucking let him do it, whatever, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well, I'm glad they had the common sense not to say that in front of me.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my short topic.
No, I like that. It's one of those conversations that's very intriguing. It generates, good dialogue, but I know a lot of people are a little gun shy about bringing up something like that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I will say myself that, it all depends on the situation for me. Like if a trans person present themselves to me and you're like, and they had interest in me, it depends on my headspace. Like if anything, like I don't know, just like how I tell straight men now, like, hey, like if a gay person hits on you, take the compliment. If you're not into it, just take the compliment and go on about your business. Don't lead them on though. Don't accept the fucking drink.
Do you think it is easier for you though, since you are bisexual and part of the LGBTQ community? Like, I mean,
I want to say yes, but also like I know for sure I'd still be a little like cautious or shy, in that situation,
Mm-hmm. I just think the whole like transgender conversation is still like a relative new isn't the right word, but it's still a relatively fresh conversation, I think, like, and I think a lot of people are still learning and accepting and trying to figure out ways to be more educated on it if you're part of that side that wants to be educated on it, not the crazy people you see on Twitter. But so anyways, that's all. That's my topic.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Good topic.
Stephanie, you said you had a topic?
Yeah, would you guys want to go the route of birthdays or go on the route of talking about seasonal mood changes? If that makes sense.
We can do seasonal mood changes because that happens to me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Unless you want to talk about a birthday, I don't care. I just kind of blurted it out.
No, it's all right. We can always talk about birthday stuff another time. So seasonal affective disorder is kind of like the official terminology for it. I think that's kind of out of scope of this conversation. We don't need to talk about actual clinical diagnoses of it. I have my job right on, but I do feel that seasons can impact us, especially if you live in an area where you can very much visibly see changes. And I wasn't sure how much impact you. Some people get wicked, like clinically depressed when fall and winter comes around. Other people don't notice a difference. Some people like it, hate it, whatever. I just want to kind of see how it impacts you, and if it does, how do you deal with it? And I can kick it off quickly. For me, my favorite time of the year is the fall, and I actually don't mind winter. So in a sense, I don't think it hits me that hard, but what I do think impacts me, which I feel is common, is the lack of sunlight. I was out weeding the garden with my son today. It's a perfectly cool day. Like, that's why I love the fall. The weather's perfect. Downside, can't stay outside as long because the sun goes down at like 6:30 or whatever. And the lack of sunlight is kind of like, I always feel kind of tired, go to bed early. There is something to be said about the sun and it energizing you and vitamin D and all this crap, but I wouldn't say I get depressed, but the lack of sunlight in the shorter days kind of, it's a little meh, How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, when it gets colder out, like especially like in the fall, I would actually say when it's winter, like probably like December, January, February, I've noticed that I get more, I think depressed is the wrong word, but aiming more in that direction of just like not feeling like myself, and definitely less happy and less, I find myself not being in a good mood as much, that kind of thing. Definitely when it's warmer outside and I get to go outside and that kind of thing, I feel like I'm way happier and way more energetic and happy to be around others and looking forward to things. Definitely feel that.
How are some of the ways you tackle those blues or try to?
I mean, a lot of the time I just try to ignore it, and because like I've noticed the pattern, and I think if you notice the pattern, it's easier to kind of talk yourself out of it in a way, and
Okay.
I don't know, I'm not good at a lot of things, but something I have noticed that I'm good at is like noticing my own patterns or other people's patterns or other people's kind of abilities and stuff. And so like I know that, okay, well, probably after Thanksgiving, I'm going to start mentally going into like a darker place or a less happy place. So you just gotta suck it up and ignore it, and because that's what's going to happen. And then once March rolls around, and it's sunny and getting warmer, and you're happier, and you know what I mean. Like it's just mostly it's just ignoring it and knowing that that's what's happening, and you just kind of push through it. Maybe a couple days out of those couple months, I'm like by myself, and you have that good cry. Everybody has a good cry by themselves once in a while, or like just maybe you sit in a parking lot somewhere for like 15 minutes just to like get it out of your system, or rage scream or something, which I know sounds crazy, but I think a lot of people like just want like 20 minutes to themselves and just like let out their emotions, whether it's anger or sadness or some sort of negative feeling,
Oh my God.
What?
This is reported that Coolio's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that while we were recording Boss Rush earlier, but I didn't want to say anything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 59. So.
Moment of silence.
So that's kind of what I do. Is that, or are we doing a moment of silence for Coolio? Should we do?
I think we just did.
Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, that's cool. Like the fact that you can acknowledge that you just need to have that time to feel shitty. A lot of people try to avoid that, but it's like, you know what? Just give yourself that moment and just kind of get it out of your system. That's kind of how I see it.
And like my drive from work is kind of long. Like it's like 30, 40 minutes sometimes to get home. So like sometimes I just would do it on the way home last winter, and like maybe stop at like in a gas station parking lot and just kind of sit there for a minute and cool off. Because sometimes if you don't get it out, or you're not in the right headspace or something, like I don't want to cause danger to anybody else, and I know sometimes that can happen even if you think you're a better driver than you are, or better at paying attention than you are, So.
Okay. LeRon, how about you?
I would say I don't suffer traditionally from seasonal affective disorder, but I do notice that I wind up like mentally slowing down, like it's one of those things. Like I actually like the wintertime, like fall and winter, like the weather. Like I like when it gets cold, because like it's one of those times where it's like, like depending on the day, like, like I can still wear my summer clothes, but I can also wear like the fall winter clothes depending on how the day is and stuff like that. But I do notice that, like when it gets dark early, oh my God, like it's like my entire mood just changes and stuff like that. Cause it's like you could be outside at 4:30, like walk in the house, come back out at like 5:15, and it's dark. And it's like, what happened? And stuff like that, like it messes with me, stuff like that. My whole thing is though, like, I know I'm in that rut at that point, but I don't know, but I just kind of like, just compartmentalize and like try to get through it, stuff like that. And I don't know if that's a healthy way of coping with it, but it's kind of what I do. I know I have friends and some family that they're taken for a loop with the change of the season, and like how their mood just changes and stuff like that, Whew. Yeah. I don't know, I just try to deal with it. I don't always win that battle, but I try to deal with it.
Yeah, I gotcha. Sorry, talking about being a parent, part of me actually kind of likes this time of year too, because I get to use the excuse of like, look outside. Oh, the sun's down. That means you got to go to bed. So that means I can trick my son into getting to bed earlier, giving me more free time after the fact. But at the same time, when I see that it's dark outside, my brain says sleepy time.
Yeah.
But I kind of find something comfortable and cozy about the cooler weather. I like sweater weather. Have the fireplace on, have some tea. Um, I actually kind of welcome the slowing down, especially as I get older, because with my job, everything has to be fast, 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 get things done immediately. So if I have to force myself to slow down, I think it actually might be healthier for me, to be honest. So,
yeah, it's I also think like I find it easier because I mean with my wife and kids they're also distracting, so like I don't really think about it as much as I kind of used to. But there's still days where the mood hits harder than it maybe should, you know. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that wasn't a terribly long topic, but I
No,
just
it
thought
wasn't.
bring it up.
No, it wasn't.
Do we want to cover birthdays real quick, or should we?
Yeah, birthdays. Let's do it.
All right. So birthdays. I bring this up because my son's birthday is on Sunday, and having a kid really reinvigorates you on various holidays, so to speak. Like Halloween, I haven't dressed up for Halloween in years and years until I had a kid, and now I'm like really getting to Halloween again. Similar with birthdays, as I get older and the major milestones are primarily out of the way, like 16, 18, 21, maybe 25, now I'm like, I wouldn't go as far as say I don't care about birthdays. Like, I will do something. Like, I'll have a nice dinner. I will treat myself. But obviously, I won't go out of my way to throw a party for myself, nor would I expect friends to do that. But with a kid, like, this is my first time throwing an actual party. Prior to this birthday of his, it was just family comes over. Now I'm like, crap, I have to coordinate these things. So, what do you guys think about birthdays?
Wait, how old is he gonna be?
7.
7. Okay, yeah.
Have birthdays always been like a positive or maybe even a negative experience in the past? Do you guys even celebrate your own birthdays these days?
You know what? I used to celebrate my birthdays. But you know what? My 45th birthday was the same year COVID happened. And I had all these plans for my 45th birthday and all this stuff. And because of COVID and, stay at home and all this stuff, like plans were shot. And, I was one of those people that, like those certain years. So like 12, 16, 18, 21, 25, 30, I was one of those people, like, I always got like swept up in like those numbers and stuff like that. So 45 is going to be a big deal for me. And after the bust that was 45 because of COVID and stuff like that, it's been like, yeah, it's another birthday, whatever. Yeah. Like, now to his credit, my boyfriend actually like he actually did some really nice stuff for me for my 47th, and I was like, man, I kind of felt myself back in the spirit. 48's probably gonna be quiet though. 48's probably gonna be quiet.
What's your kind of like ideal way to celebrate a birthday?
For me,
Yeah.
There was a time when, there was a time when like I used to like do like the whole party thing, because actually like a really close friend of mine, my birthday's on June 3rd, his is on June 2nd. And we used to be roommates. So we would just go ahead and plan like a birthday weekend thing, depending on what's going on, and just have like people over, have a party, like do some stuff, things like that. And even though we don't, like, we still stay in touch because like we basically still live in the same town, like, to like we don't whoop it up because of course like he's got a wife and kids now, and like I'm off doing my thing, but we always try to have like the birthday dinner, like one of the restaurants somewhere, like have a burger or some pizza, something, just and do that. But yeah, I used to be big into like trying to do it up, and now it's like I don't know if it was maybe because I got older or like I said, like the whole COVID thing took the wind out of my sails or whatnot. Now it's like, you know what? I just want to just do something, like really low key and just going about my day. So like that. Like
Mhm.
and now of course people always want to ask you like how does being XYZ age feel compared to like what it was? And it's like feels the same.
Yeah.
My back hurts now.
Back pain is
like
real.
like I have tight hip flexors, if I sneeze, I throw my back out now.
Yeah,
I'm
I have to
joking
like
about that. I'm joking about that because that literally happened to me last week.
I have to like hold my sneeze in because it.
No, that's even worse. You might as well just sneeze.
I know, but like then like my body like spasms out and my back hurts and I'm like, it's worse.
Yeah, yeah, like Monday last week. Like I woke up and there was like I wasn't like it was more like a knot, than like a pain in my back and whatnot. And I got up, I worked out, and during my workout, like because I do my workout sessions with my trainer over Zoom. Like during the workout session, I was doing some ab work. I was doing sit ups, and like every couple of times I sat up, I would sneeze. And I was like, okay, so it looks like allergies are because I have seasonal allergies. I was like, okay, so it looks like allergies are back in full swing.
Mm.
A little bit later on
Mm.
that morning, I just had like a very big sneezing fit. And then on just one of those sneezes, like all of a sudden that spot that was just like a little small
Oh.
spot in my back, all of a sudden like the pain just radiated all the way across my back up to the bottom of my shoulder blades, and I was like, oh my god. And I still had to sneeze though, and it was getting painful to the point where I actually had to lay down on the floor to continue sneezing because at that point my back was like, I give up. Yeah, like my back is still tight now, but at least it's like no longer in pain.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, getting older, not fun.
Yeah, I'll admit I don't get people that when I say, "Oh, what do you want to do for your birthday?" Like this was with my last ex-boyfriend. Like, I don't do anything. My birthday means nothing. I think that's a bit much. Like I'm like, okay,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
like that. I'm not like
it,
that.
but that's what I'm saying, Lauren. Like it doesn't have to be a big grand thing, but don't talk about your birthday like it's nothing. Like I said, then what's the like you need to have something to look forward to celebrate, even if it's a small, humble celebration.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do that.
Corey Derrick.
Well, my birthday is always like on or around Thanksgiving. Like this year, it's on Thanksgiving,
Oh, I feel bad for people who are born around major
and
holidays.
so like everybody at Thanksgiving is always like, "Well, happy birthday!" I'm like, "Thanks, I guess." I don't know. What's not what I don't know. I just always felt bad because like this day, like this fake day that we made up to show thanks for everything that we have or whatever, and it's like everybody's talking to me. I'm like, stop, just stop, just stop. I wanna eat garbage food and watch the football game. Leave me alone. But then like I don't know. My wife always asks me what I want to do for my birthday, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's just get a pizza and not do anything. So
But even getting a pizza, that's kind of like choosing to do like if doing nothing is what you want to do for your birthday, in a sense that well, I don't know. I think I just contradicted myself. I don't know.
you did, but it's okay.
But one thing I do know is that I also don't like the pressure of creating something extravagant. I guess this again goes back more towards kids because you always see like those Pinterest moms like going like really probably over and beyond for some stuff, especially for younger kids that don't know. Um, Sorry to bring up the same example. So my kid wants a gaming theme party. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Oh, well, we had a gaming truck come by. Like now they have all these like mobile trucks with different."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and I'm like, "Oh, send me the link. That'd be so convenient for it to all be there. $500 for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. My nephew
you
got
freaking
my nephew got one for his birthday, and it wasn't $500, but also I live in Ohio where things are cheaper than most other places. I think it
Yeah.
was $250 for 2 hours or 3 hours.
That's nice. But anyway, but that and like, I don't know, I see a lot of parents like go crazy with decorations and everything has to look picture perfect down to like the setting and placemats. And I'm like, that's like, again, the other extreme of birthdays. I'm like, that stresses me out to the point where it's not fun for me. And especially if it's for a child, will they really know the difference? That they're like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. I wish I was more into my birthday than I am. I don't know. It's just something I just don't know. Maybe it's just because maybe I just don't know how to get excited for it. I don't know. Is that weird? Like,
no.
I don't know. I feel like I don't really know how to get excited for things unless I'm like excited for things, I guess. Like I'm much more excited to talk about the new Zelda game than I am to talk about what are we gonna do for my birthday this year. I'm just like, I would rather do that, I think. So
okay. Well, how are you guys with the kids' birthdays? Because I know your daughter your kids are they both summer babies?
My son was in March and my daughter's July. So
all right, it was your daughter. Like, how are you guys with like? Well, your son's too young to get excited about his birthday, but how about your daughter?
Oh, she loves it. Like her party this year, her theme was Bluey, the kid show Bluey. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's
I know.
Oh my gosh,
we've watched it. We've exhausted watching that.
Oh my gosh, she's obsessed with it. And so like we got this big wall kind of banner, this Bluey happy birthday banner. It's still hanging in our kitchen actually because she wouldn't let us throw it away. And our kitchen is the only wall that's big enough to hold it, so it's in our kitchen. And there's a happy birthday like banner going across the toy room that has all of the Bluey characters, and she can name them all and tell us what they do and what they're into. Oh my gosh, she's obsessed. I'm like, man, was I really like this when I was little? And man, and then we got her a bunch of presents and everybody brought presents and everybody got together and she loved it. She loves being this, like when she's comfortable, she loves being the center of attention.
Aww.
But like, when things like school and stuff, if there's like people she doesn't know, she's shy. But like if she knows everybody and everything, she like loves being the center of attention. And she loves like opening gifts and telling people thank you and showing them off and everything. So my son just kind of like stared at us like, what are you doing? What is this?
You want to hear something fun?
Yes.
When I was growing up, my mom would guilt me on my birthday because she was, for Chinese people in the old days, kids would get spanked and beaten on their birthday as a tradition. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, it's to remind them of the pain the mother went through for childbirth. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
That's some craziness.
Yeah, so apparently
is that a tradition? Is that real?
It's not a current this is like a very
or is it like birthday spanks, like how like
No, it's you caused your mother birth pains. This is what it feels like.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I just
so fucked up.
Yeah. It's super duper fucked up. So just thought I'd share that fun little ditty right there.
You said something fun.
Don't do that to Nico. Don't do that to Nico.
Oh, I wouldn't. The funny part, and see again, like there's something about my son. It must have skipped a generation where he's almost fearless to my mom. So my mom would threaten him in Chinese. It's called da pigu, which means I'm going to spank your butt. So da pigu means I'm going to spank you. Pigu is butt, spank your butt. And he thinks it's funny, so he'll run around, stick his butt out, on her and be like, da pigu, da pigu. Like he'll stick his butt out. I'm like, dude, you got some balls, man. I would not be doing that. Serious balls.
I love it.
Oh man. And then like the other thing too though is like my mom still treats me like I'm like 8 years old when it's my birthday, even though I'm 35.
Oh,
Gonna be
so
36.
you get gift baskets and all this stuff? Like,
Do you get like a card with a $5 bill in it?
No, she'll like because I'm the only child, so like she feels like she has to buy me like 8,000 things, even though I just don't want any more crap.
Oh my God. I would kill for that.
She bought me
Life-
she bought me a Series S for my birthday one year.
What?
What?
Can I be your brother?
Sure.
Right?
What the hell? You're a grown. Like the last time my mom bought a console for me was she felt bad for me. Like I was on my very first deployment in the Navy, and I was like, I'm trying my best to find a PlayStation, so you can let me know where one's at. And she got one for me, and she's like, "This is it. I'm not buying you another video game system for the rest of your life."
Well, that's the thing. Like this year for my birthday, I'm actually going to try to get a PlayStation.
Hey, work it while you got it, man.
But like I always feel bad when she gets me things, but this year I'm going to milk it. I'm going to milk
You're
it.
an only child. Like I was an only child for 12 years. Then my sister showed up and shit changed.
Mm-hmm.
Shit changed. I was like, oh, congratulations, you're 13 now. Congratulations, you're 14 now. Congratulations, you're 15 now. I was like, oh, I see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm
And
maybe,
all the
maybe
old,
I'll work
and
that
all
in.
the old, and all the old toys and stuff that I got for my birthday, like my sister was stealing them, so they're no longer mine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Although if I did try to do that, I would feel extremely bad. But
No, fuck that.
how how long will I feel bad? Is it worth feeling bad for a couple weeks? Like maybe.
As I press the home button on this PS5 controller. Yeah. No, it's funny though. My mom has a tradition though. Like every year on my birthday, she calls me early in the morning, and it's around the time that she says I was actually born. So one year I had my birth. So like one year I just was thinking about it. I got my birth certificate, and sure enough, like she was. I want to say she was within 5 minutes of like the time that it said on my birth certificate that I was born. That she called. She calls me every year at the same time.
Mm.
So, if you guys want anything, just tell my mom to get it for me.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
It might be next Christmas, LeRon.
Can she get that? Can she get that for me?
Nope, sorry.
It might not be ever, because man, Russia is fucked up.
Ooh, yeah, that's it's
Like that
escalating.
fucking sham ass fucking referendum they just did, because they can't they're sore losers, man, because like Ukraine's been pushing their shit in lately,
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm just gonna make my own Advance Wars game.
Sure.
I'm sure you haven't thought about just emulating the Game Boy Advance ones.
Oh, you just don't know. I just installed RetroArch on my computer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's something going on with the cores, because I had it on the PS Vita. There's something going on with the cores that doesn't play quite right. So I was like, no, fuck this. I'm playing this game.
Speaking of like when it comes to birthday presents, do you guys kind of like hinting what you might want for your birthday? Are you a gift person, or do you prefer experiences? Like as we get older, we kind of have what we need necessarily. I don't know, like this applies more towards Christmas time. Part of me wishes I could just say, hey y'all, not to be boring, but if you want to give me some gas gift cards or grocery store gift cards, that would actually be wonderful. Thanks.
Give me freaking Visa gift cards, stuff that I can just spend whenever I need the money, and not, I mean, I'm not gonna turn down a Best Buy gift card, of course not,
Yeah.
but give me something that like has more general use, People get pissed off when they're like, hey, what would you like for your birthday? I'm like, just give me a damn gift card, and they get mad. It's like
Yep.
no, you want something, don't you? Yeah. The cash or the gift card.
Yeah, they're like, but a gift card's so unoriginal. I'm like, but that's what I want because I
Well,
need it.
and then I always have to explain to them. I was like, listen, like you're gonna take a chance and surprise me with a gift, and it might not be something. It might be something I either already have, or it might be something that I just do not want and don't care for. And you're gonna take that chance, and then you're not even gonna give me a gift receipt so I can go exchange it to get whatever I want. It's easier. It's easier to just turn around and give me the gift card because you know, like I'm gonna appreciate that and I'm gonna spend it exactly how I want to spend it.
Exactly.
I understand it's the sentiment involved, but trust me, the sentiment involved is giving me money I can spend.
Fair.
Yeah, I enjoy my birthday when it comes around. I just don't. I guess at this point though, like it's starting to become another day of the week, especially when it falls into just a random ass day of the week too.
Yeah.
Like I think next year I'm getting lucky. I think my birthday is on a Friday next year.
Awesome.
Let me look. My birthday's on a Saturday.
My weekend, I get a 4-day weekend though, so that's all right. That's all right with me.
Oh, and my boyfriend's birthday is on a Friday. Okay. And my sister's birthday, it's on a Thursday.
Oh. So birthdays.
Birthdays.
Good topics. But
Something.
I am never old enough for cake though. Never.
Hell
fair.
yeah. What's y'all's favorite kind of cake? Or does it matter?
It matters.
I am a German chocolate cake person, but I know that's kind of fancy. So I mean, like you can give me like a red velvet or just a good like lemon vanilla cake. I'll be fine.
For me, well, red velvet is our anniversary cake, so we always try to do red velvet on our wedding or. Oh shoot! I just remembered that's coming up in like
a red velvet with that amazingly rich buttercream frosting.
Mm-hmm.
Or cream cheese frosting, maybe.
Yeah, cream cheese frosting. Yeah.
But for like a birthday or something, it's gonna be like chocolate cake, chocolate icing. If you want to get fancy, put that ice cream cake crunchy stuff in there, but without the ice cream, like just the crunchies with the fudge. But yeah, that would be like a birthday cake thing for me.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not too picky about birthday cake, but I do have another funny anecdote. When I was younger, all my birthdays, my mom would always get this. It's almost like a strawberry shortcake type of cake with strawberries in the frosting and stuff like that. But as a kid, I don't really like that. And I was always grateful and polite, but I said, maybe next year could I have a chocolate cake? Like, can I just request something different? But every year they get me that same cake. And only now do I realize it's probably their favorite and they just get it. But I like, regular chocolate cake or vanilla cake. Jeez, Paxel. With as long as it's good quality frosting, because otherwise I'll scrape it off. I hate to say if it's shitty cheap frosting, I will scrape it off. I enjoy baking cakes. I'll bake my own damn cake. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, I love cake.
I also love cake. I'm more of a cake and brownie guy than like a ice cream kind of pie kind of person.
Well,
if it's dessert, I'll eat it. But I am also a cake guy. But my perfect thing is cupcakes.
Oh, by the way, this is what I'm going to try and make for my son's birthday.
Oh, shit.
It was originally going to be a Pikachu cake, but I actually think this one will be easier because
You're actually going to bake that?
Yes. So, I mean, part of it's easy. Sprinkles, lollipops. It can be any kind of cake in there. It's the rainbow drip that's going to be the most difficult to do.
Right, yeah.
But I am stubborn. I'm a stubborn ass when it comes to baking. I want to bake my son's cake.
Good shit.
It's literally been a tradition since, I don't know, Nikolai was old enough to help me bake. He always was there baking his birthday cake with me, except I'll bake, so I'm by myself. Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to surprise him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Cool. Cool.
Well, we ready to wrap it up?
I think we are.
I think we did an episode. I think we did good.
Yeah, we did 4 topics tonight?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was impromptu. Like, you know, like I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean to.
Stop
be all
apologizing, or I'm gonna slap you, and I won't apologize.
I was almost
for
going to say
slapping
I'm sorry. I was. Okay, everyone. This has been another wonderful episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the alternative podcast show for the flagship of the Boss Rush Network. Before we head out, as always, we're going to let you know how to get in contact with and stay in contact with us. Stephanie, go first, please.
People can find me on the internets at Klimov_author on Instagram and Twitter, Wednesday nights on the Boss Rush podcast, and my articles on bossrush.net.
Awesome. Corey.
You can find me at IamCoreyNHD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on the Boss Rush podcast, Nintendo Power Block, and a plethora of other things here on the Boss Rush Network.
And as always, you can find me on social media as well as YouTube and Twitch, and hitting up Exodus 803, EXODUS 803. It's also my PlayStation Network and Steam ID, you know, just in case. And don't forget, Tuesday nights on my YouTube channel, the Crossroads Video Game Podcast.
Highly recommend.
Thank you. Thank you. Where we talk about PlayStation, PC, and Xbox, and just a little bit of this and a little bit of that in between. You know, it's all good times.
Don't forget Stadia and Luna.
That too. Yeah, iOS, Android. Maybe Nintendo sometimes. It all depends on
only
how
if you have
Nintendo's...
something to make fun of.
Yeah. All right. Once again, a big shout out to you guys for listening and hanging out with us for Boss Rush After Dark. Without you, there is no us. So just take that into account. Consider becoming a patron to the show, and you not only get access to some of the early content for Boss Rush After Dark, but also other stuff, as Corey has said. And we'll be back next week for another brand new episode of Boss Rush After Dark, the show that we always talk about stuff that's not always content appropriate for our other anchor shows for the network. We love you guys, and have a good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good